German simple present tense, das Präsens. In today's video, I will show you how the German simple present tense, das Präsens, is formed. What are the different verb endings and what are the special things you have to pay attention to? Hi, my name is Jan and I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is tenses. More precise, the simple present tense. First of all, tenses in German and English are very different, but it's actually easier in German than in English. Yes, German tenses are pretty easy. In this video, I will show you the Präsens, simple present tense first. How do you have to change the endings? And this is actually the only thing that's a little bit harder than in English, because in English you don't really change endings except for one verb. How do you do this in German? Let's switch into my ebook and I will show you everything in detail. We're here now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is present tense, so the German present tense. Let's go to there we go, simple present tense. Good news first, there's only one possible verb ending in German. It is always N or EN. Almost all of them are ending on EN, very few of them it's just the N, but that makes it easy for you. If it doesn't end in N, it can't be the infinitive, the basic form of the verb. English has several different endings, but for example, Spanish knows 3 different endings with 3 different forms of conjugation. Conjugation means you have to actually adjust the ending of the verb according to the person you're talking to or about. If you only speak English and that doesn't sound familiar to you, don't worry, you know this in English too. Although most of your verbs always stay the same because it's like I work, you work, he, she, it works. So you only have to add an S if it's third person singular, right? But there's one verb that's an exception, and that's to be. There you have to do the exact same thing that you have to do in German and in most other languages with absolutely every single verb. You have to adjust the ending according to the person you're talking to. So for example, first person singular, ich or I, we have the example here, spielen, to play. It's ich spiele. The ending is I play. Second person singular, du, you, is du spielst, so st ending. Third person singular, so he, she, it, t, spielt. First person plural, so wir spielen, in. So that actually stays the same. Second person plural, ihr, so the plural you, ihr spielt, just the T. And third person plural, they, or the formal version that doesn't exist in English is again back to EN. So here you can see those are the different endings. And there is very little exceptions to this. Like those endings work for 99% of all the verbs in German present tense. Will be always this ending. But of course there are some irregular ones. And the irregular ones, well, we have 2 types. One type is called strong verbs and the other type is actually really irregular. They don't follow any rule. The strong verbs are verbs that have a vowel change. That means the ending is exactly the way it is. There's no change whatsoever. We do not adjust the ending. That's always this ending. even if there are strong verbs, so starke Verben, that will still be the same ending, but we have to adjust the vowel in the second syllable. So here, A, E, I, O, and U are vowels, in case you don't know what's a vowel. But that happens only in second and third person singular. So that does not apply to first person singular, so I. It also doesn't apply to anything in plural. It can only happen in du, so you, or he, she, it. With nothing else, we have to do that. Everything else will stay regular. And also not all 5 vowels can change. It's actually only the E or the A. Nothing else can change in present tense and strong verbs. And the E can change to EI, that vowel combination, or just the I, and the A can change to the E, so the umlaut, the A with the 2 dots that you can see right here as well. We have a few examples here. I will not go through all of them in detail right now. It would take too long. You can see this here. The change is only in the second and third person singular. Sehen, du siehst, instead of du siehst. Sie, es sieht, instead of seht. So the E changed to an EI. And helfen, du hilfst, instead of du helfst. Sie, es hilft, instead of sie, es helft. You can see the ending is regular. There is no change to the ending here. It is still the regular ST or the regular T. Same here with A, the change to E. Du fährst, sie, es fährt. Driving or going. We change the A to an E, and only here. Everything else you can see plural, and I, first person, is regular. There is no change whatsoever. So how do you know which verb is doing this? The short version of it, if it is here in the first syllable, you have a 95% chance that it will change. The more detailed information about that you can find in my lesson about strong verbs in particular. There is a separate lesson about that. I will link this in the info cards for you the moment I publish it. You can obviously also find it in my ebook. There you can check it already. The video for this is not yet published. The moment I publish it, I will link it for you here in the info cards. But keep in mind, is it here in the first syllable, then you do change it. You have a 95% chance of that. But only the E and the A. And, well, there is some really irregular verbs. Call it irregular, call it special. Some grammar books call the strong verbs already the irregular one. I don't really like that because there are some that do not go along with the rules. And those are mostly those 3. There are very few others. Only modal verbs have a slight irregular conjugation as well. Everything else will be regular. And very important for you, what is always regular is plural. Like with every single verb, it is always regular in plural. You can see this here, even haben and werden. Plural is 100% regular. No vowel change, so there's no change E or E, that cannot happen here. And also the ending will always be regular. EN, T, EN, same here. There's only one verb that is irregular in plural, and that's to be, sein. That is the only verb. You will not find any other verb that is irregular in present plural. Everything else can only be somehow different in second and third person. And to be and the modal verbs are also irregular in the first person singular, but more about that in the modal verb videos that I will link for you here, also in the info cards. so that you can check it out there. But you can see here, those are the 100% irregular ones that are not just strong, they're just, here you have a complete change of the base of the verb from no B anymore here. We drop that. So that is irregular. That's not just strong. We do not just change a vowel. No, we change the entire base of the verb. So that is irregular. But like I told you, there are just a handful of them. Those three plus modal verbs. And that's pretty much it. Everything else can only be a strong verb. But apart from this pretty easy way, there are some special features if the verb stem ends on DT or something that sounds like an S. If it ends on D or T, then we have to insert an extra E before the endings ST or T. For example, arbeiten, we have the verb stem here as Arbeit. So verb stem means without the ending, so without the EN. Arbeitest, because otherwise it would be very difficult to do the pronunciation. So Arbeitest. Otherwise it would be do Arbeitst. It's like too many consonants in a row. Otherwise, that's why we add an E here. Or double T would also change pronunciation. Remember, double letters always change pronunciation in German slightly. That's why we have to add the E in there. There's one very, very rare exception to this. Laden and halten don't do that with do and but they do it here in plural. To be honest, there's no real rule why they don't do that, but it's just like that. There is one reason why they do this, and that's the vowel change. If you have a vowel change, then you don't have to do that in singular, because in plural, remember, there is no vowel change. It's only second and third person singular. So there you still add this. Here, you do not add it. It just grew like this. Due to the vowel change, the sound just fine. But this is actually very, very rare that this happens. Those are the two most common verbs that do this. There are a few more, but they are really just like advanced vocabulary. So remember those two and you will be good with this exception. And if the verb stem ends on anything that sounds like an S, that's always an S, the so-called SZ, but also X and Z sound like an S in German, then we do not add an extra S. So we just put the T instead of the ST for the U, the do version, second person singular. So one last exception here for the present tense conjugation. For the verbs that end in ELN and ERN, this is the official ending, but for you it's more important that you realize that actually just the N is here the ending that matters for you, because here we omit only the N and add then the ending. So we do not omit ELN or ERN. No, we just drop the N and then add the corresponding ending. That is still the 100% regular ending. So there's no change in that. You don't have to learn hundreds of different endings. It's always the E, S, T, T, N, T, N, or with the E. So E, S, T, T, E, N, T, E, N. Here. So there is never anything different from that. What is special with the ELN ending is you drop that E here in front of the L in first person singular and just there, nowhere else. If you don't drop that while speaking German, nobody would probably really notice. But the only correct way to do it in an exam or whatever, if you want to be perfect, is this one. So those are the exceptions from the regular conjugation, but regular conjugation is always E, S, T, T for he, she, and it, and then EN, T, or EN in plural, you, in plural, third person plural, or the formal way like here. And pay attention,
T or D ending, then we have to add an extra E in front of the T or ST. And if the verb stem ends in something that sounds like an S, we have to omit the S if we add an S. And ELN and ERN, the ending is just N and nothing else.
At first glance, that might look a little bit messy, and yes, I agree with you. The different endings is a little bit more messy than in English, where you pretty much don't change a lot. But it's, for example, way easier than in Spanish. In Spanish, you have 3 different endings and 3 different conjugations in every single tense. In German, it's just 1. And in plural is always regular, at least in the present tense. When you actually have to use the present tense, that's a different video. I will link that in the info cards for you. Also, if you clicked on the playlist, it will be just the next one that plays. Because pay attention, the use of the present tense is similar, but also very different at the same time from the simple present use in English. So check out my other video. And if you liked this lesson today a lot, if you've learned a lot, I hope I earned your subscription and the like for this video. If you like to support me and my channel, my website, and you like the ebook that you've just seen here, you can also buy this. Just follow the link in the info cards on the video description. I have more than 10 ebooks about German grammar with explanations like this, focusing on the 95% that actually works according to the rule. And the other 5% I only mention if it's really no way around. But my philosophy is, if you know 95%, it's fine. You can speak German, and the other 5% you get along the way, and they do not get in your way of understanding the 95%. So, like I told you, you will find all my ebooks in the video description, and then I hope I will see you again in one of my other videos, and until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.